Hello, 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 hello. So I see there's a lot of new members. They're really interested in what was said on my members only live yesterday. Shocking, isn't it? Um, Good afternoon, good evening, hello. Hi, Jody. Hi, Cranky. Hi, Sammy Sue. Hi, Pick Me. Susan, Flower Power. You're in the bushes. I don't know why, but okay. Let's see. Yeah. So we had Lulu Loveberry. Hello. They were saying this to appease the public. The corruption goes to a very high places in the case. I do believe that, Lulu. So today, I know there was hi Mari. Hi Vault. Yesterday there was speculation about the FBI involvement. Okay. So now that part of it, now the one prong part of the FBI investigation is true. Okay. It is very true. And what they're investigating now, they've asked them to also consult and come in on the death case. Hi, Sweets and Beyond. You made brownies. Oh my God. I had to run out and get red hots. Look, I had to run out and get red hots. Okay. So, um, so the one part where the FBI is investigating now there is some good stuff right now. It's the fact that they were investigating. You remember when I said I thought that he was hi Patricia, I said he was probably stealing money from the church. Remember, I said it wasn't a 501c, it's not associated with the Southern Baptist Association. It is not even registered as a 501c. So now let me just be what I've gathered. It is not clear on how long the investigation was going on. But one of the people that worked at the church started reporting funds that were being missing. They filed a police report. They named Mica, and the other party was John Paul. Okay. The other party was John Paul. I bought Hostess cupcakes and I'm eating all of them. You better be offering brownies. Oh my God. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. I really, really would appreciate that. So it appears allegedly that Mica knew of the investigation prior to her death. Now, I remember saying when she said that he was misappropriating funds or something was going on, and every time she brought it up, he would put her in a mental hospital. So, hi, Island Girl. So I started looking. So let's see. So on March 14th, Murder Police received a Murder Police Department received a report that nearly $1,200 in donations that was meant for the ministries and a missionary for South Africa, which is the mission that this fund was going to, or Africa, South or Africa, one of the two. And they said that money was stolen by Mica. Money was stolen by Mica. But the money wasn't deposited until after Mica's death. $1,199 was deposited after Mica's alleged suicide. Okay. So we have Tom Winslow, He is John Paul's attorney, but get this, Tom Winslow owns the property when Mica supposedly unalived herself, and he told someone that they need to go clean it up. Okay, now I'm coming back to this shot in the cries. So Mica was crying, and then they heard a shot. I listened to that interview from the fisherman a couple of times now. Not one time did I hear him say he called the police. Oh, you got me. I got to send you some milk duds. I'm going to send you a Cash App, Savage, to get you some milk duds. Not one time did I hear him say he called the police. I heard him say that he asked someone else that was coming down the river or entering the river, did you hear that? Nobody picked up the phone to call the police, but you just happened to know where the sound came from. So you made your way that way and you found Mica's belongings on the bank. I still don't understand why she was in the water and why the gun was in the water. I'm still confused on that. Okay. So Tom Winslow is the same man that helped John Paul convince Mica's doctor that she needed to be put in an institution. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. These people are crooked as shit. So Solid Rock had put their website back up. They had removed a few names, especially Kennerson, okay, which we know he's still there. Trust and believe me, he's still there. And now it's back down again since the FBI is now investigating. Now, what we were told was that John Paul was removed from his ministerial duties. But guess what? They can't fire John Paul. You know why they can't fire John Paul? It's because he owns the church. John Paul owns that church building. So, I'm like, wait a minute, this gets better. So Pastor John Paul Miller owns the building that houses Solid Rock. Now, we know her father did an interview, and I'm going to show that in a few minutes too, along with her sister. But get this, John Paul was sending messages to Mica when she left him to go stay with her sister, and he's calling the sister saying he's on his way and he is strapped. Now, he got Mica's oldest sister fired from her job at what is the name of the academy? Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue. Faith Hill Academy. And they fired her. Guess why? Because they affiliated with Solid Rock Church. I'm just like, oh my God, that eulogy, and everybody was talking about it. So when you go through and you're digging through this stuff, you find all kinds of information. So I remember when I was telling you that Mica had told everyone that if she ended up with a bullet in her head, it was not me, it was JP. Now, they have asked that the FBI come in on the murder investigation. Again, the coroner ruled it was a self-inflicted wound. So why do we think that all of a sudden now they're going to do this investigation? Her brother said in an affidavit, that in a sworn affidavit, may I add, that his sister had wanted him to serve as administrator to her estate. And the sister, Sierra, said that Mica had served the husband with divorce papers on April 25th. Now, that paperwork hadn't been uploaded when I looked, but even the sheriff stated that when he went there, he was shocked that he was getting those papers. He was shocked, okay? Now, they both said in an affidavit that she was looking forward to being free from this man. Now, I started telling you yesterday when we were in here and we were talking about some stuff, but Mica had made, she had a binder and she had written all kinds of things down in it. And she said from the time that they were married, from the time she and John Paul were married, she was sexually, physically, and emotionally abused. And I'm sitting there going, okay, you said he was grooming you. This is what he was doing to you, but you still married this man. She said, since the day we became husband and wife, I've been abused in every way I can think of, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, financially, and physically. He has harassed me physically and electronically with letters, phone calls, emails, and texts, hacking my emails, hacking my personal Facebook, impersonating her. He was using a stolen phone. I told you to send messages. He had installed 3 GPS trackers. The 4th one is the one that we found out about after her death. Hi, Brown Eye Cutie. Thank you. The 4th one is the one that we found out about after her death. But there are police reports about this man's harassment and stalking. So her father said that she was probably pushed to the brink. But I'm going to let you hear this. He says there was bruises on her hand and other injuries. So let me go. I'm going to get this. I have it. I'm ready for you. I'm ready. I'm ready today. So this is coming from News Nation. I dropped the link in a chat. I forgot to add it to the description, but I will. So let's just take a look at this. Now, guys, there's a trigger warning up, but let's just remember that John Paul refused to let her family see her at the funeral home unless they signed the paperwork so she can be cremated. There was no autopsy done. None. So my thing is, what is the FBI going to use to investigate? Is it going to be the binder that she kept with everything that was being done to her? Because there was no autopsy done on Mica. My niece committed, she unalived herself, and there was, in the head, and they did an autopsy on her. I can tell you that, because they had to call me when the body was ready to be released to see who was going to be picking her up, which I had already made those arrangements because her mother couldn't handle it. And I just refused to go look at the body when he got there. The mother called me. She was crying, but they broke her arm, but they had to get her out anyway. So let's listen to this.
Mica's family and from police reports that John Paul was stalking and harassing Mica.
Look at the bruises. Hold on. Let me pause this. Do we see the bruising? There's bruising on her.
Up to her death. And today, News Nation producer Rich McHugh got a copy of a 911 call from Mica's sister after she says she received a threatening text from John Paul last November. Mica was staying with her sister at the time, and here is some of that 911 call.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I need to report a non-emergency at this point.
Okay, what's going on?
My sister came here today to visit because her and her husband were having issues. She came from Myrtle. She told him she'll be home on Tuesday. And he was texting me at this point saying, I'll be at your house at 12:55. I'm armed and ready, and I will keep you up all night. I'm going to get her back.
Hi, Jane Creek.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you're not welcome at my house. There are no trespassing signs up. You cannot threaten weapons. He has 6 guns that he just purchased recently. And he's saying, I'm armed and ready. I'm coming to get her.
Now, he had 6 guns he had just purchased recently. So do we think that Mica bought that gun to defend herself? Do we think that Mica bought a gun to defend herself? I think so. I think so.
We also have 2 of the texts that John Paul sent Mica's sister that day. The first one,
there
in
you
the wee
go.
hours, it was sent at 1:11 a.m. And it says, John Paul has loaded, or John Paul says he's loaded Mica's possessions into garbage bags and is threatening to either dump them on the sister's property or take them to the Goodwill. The second text, 7 hours later, at 8:04 a.m., takes a very, very different tone. Take a look at that. It says, if she comes home today, tell her I'm sorry, so sorry. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm sorry to you and Matt. Should be known that we have repeatedly invited John Paul and his attorney to appear on this show every day that we've done the story, and they have always refused. They did give us that statement. We've now read it twice. And I want to bring in News Nation producer Allison Weiner, who's been digging into this story since the very beginning. Allison.
So he's refusing. Now that the FBI is investigating alleged missing funds. So, you know, the FBI is not coming in on $1,200. Let's be serious. Oh, I see a commercial. Okay, I caught it. We know the FBI is not going to come in on $1,200 that's missing. They're not going to come in and investigate $1,200. Don't play with our intelligence. So there has been funds and misappropriate, but like I told you, he had 29 cars registered in the church's name. He had sold the house to the church, which he owns the building. This is much bigger. The attorney and John Paul, they're now said to be underground, or they've gone quiet. Okay, they've gone quiet. Let's finish.
You know, the statement yet again pointed out that the allegation that Mica suffered from mental health issues, that she was hospitalized from February 8th until February 10th. Everybody's been wondering, like, why that hospitalization, how it came about. And you were able to dig up that answer today. What is it?
Well, I got an affidavit from Mica's father, Michael, who was actually on the show the other night. And in the affidavit, he talks about the fact that John Paul was going around saying that Mica was not taking her medication and that she
was only in the hospital for 2 days. Now, my understanding from reading what her brother stated in his affidavit, that Mica elected to take 1 pill instead of 2 pills, which was allowed. So this is John Paul's thing of saying she's not taking her medication. Hi, avoiding eye contact. How are you?
Needed to be hospitalized. And when Mica's dad looked into it, he found out that she was really deciding to take just 1 pill instead of 2 pills, which is something that she was very much allowed to do. So he found at that moment and throughout a lot of their interactions that, according to him, John Paul was exaggerating a lot of things and making up things so that he could, in fact, get Mica hospitalized against her will.
So how did she end up being admitted against her will?
Well, he actually had a document. It was John Paul who admitted her, who signed the paperwork. But he showed Mica a document, and this is according to Mica's dad, but there was a document that he had shown also to Mica's father that showed that the power of attorney would be still in Mica's dad's name and also in her father name and her brother Nate's name, so that if somebody had to get her out of there, they both had the power of attorney, as well as her husband. That document was never notarized or
Yep.
filed, but it's something that Mica saw.
Was it a real document? Did her family actually agree with these things?
No, it was never filed. It wasn't
Never
signed by
filed.
them. It wasn't notarized. So it's not a legal document, but it looked like a legal document. And basically, initially, according to Michael, to Mica's father, he was told that there was, in fact, that his son was signing the document. So it just was sort of a tangled web of lies.
He's a liar.
According to alleged by Mica's father.
Mica's father, Michael. Yeah. Okay. So the bad blood between, John Paul and Mica's family, just, bits and pieces just keep coming out. And it is so nasty. We heard the 911 call where Mica's sister talks about no trespassing. And John Paul apparently did the same thing to Mica's family. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
Go to newsnationnow.com.
Yep. So he did the same. Oh, let me stop this. He did the same thing to her family. He would not allow them to see Mica's body unless they signed that document. So I was trying to hold on, let me get Mica's dad's thing, because I had it up and then I added that one. Hold on, where's the dad's interview? Hold on a second. I had it up, but she had bruising on her. And he said it just didn't make any sense. Damn it, I've lost it. I lost it. I lost it. I don't know which news station had it. Hold on. Mica's dad interview. Okay, here we go. I have it. I found it. I'm sorry. I have it. I had it all the time, but the picture changed on me, so I didn't know it was the right one. So he's been manipulating Mica. He was trying to manipulate the family. And in order for them to see her, they had to sign because he was the next of kin. He didn't want an autopsy. He didn't want anything. And he rushed her to cremation. Now, he was out. He had an established alibi. He was in another part of South Carolina with his girlfriend, alleged girlfriend Susan Skinner. They were at a game. And so that was his alibi. It's proven that he was there. Everybody saw him. Again, I still believe this man had something to do with her death. And that's me. I know. I just can't shake that feeling that he had something to do with her death. Okay, hold on. Let me go back here. Okay, here we
Now
go.
exclusively by Mica's father, Michael Francis, and her big sister, Destiny
Black
Barrientos.
Widow.
Thank you to both of you. And may I just say I am so sorry to be meeting you under these circumstances. And my heart goes out to your family in dealing with what you are coping.
Okay, this is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. These people are crooked as hell. I'm sure when we start looking, we're going to find that he's got some kind of affiliation with the medical examiner as well. We are probably going to find out that the person that did the cremation is affiliated with Solid Rock Church as well. He had the family barred from the church. He barred Mica's family from the church. Hi, Wit. Hi, Wisco Gal. How are you? Hi. Oh, Brown Snuggle Bunny. Hi. He barred them from the church. Now, that's a godly man. That man is godly.
With. I cannot imagine being in your shoes. Michael, if I may begin with you, you feel that the investigation has been less than complete, to say the least, on Mica's death. What do you believe happened? What is your theory of how Mica died?
My theory of how Mica died. Well, I know she was pushed to the brink. I know that there is no reason for her to be out there in that area. We've never been there.
Thank you.
Never been there. I mean, my theory is broad right now. There's bruises on her hand. There's injury to her other arm, like a handprint. And these things were not documented, and they did not show up for no reason. And we were not satisfied with the answers that we were given in the entirety. It didn't seem like enough was done. And we just want more answers. We want more checking into this.
And Destiny, the investigators still have not released Mica's personal possessions, like her cell phone in particular, which is a pretty critical piece of evidence.
Yep.
Tell me why it is so important for the family to get those things back.
Mica had been gathering information to help with her divorce for quite a while, previous to her commitment to the hospital that was unwilling. She had all of her stuff on her phone at that time and her laptop. When she was committed against her will, John Paul had went to the hospital to pick up her items, deleted all of her information off.
Deleted the information, went through her phone, read everything, and that's why he wanted her in the hospital. I think he wanted to know what she knew. She knew that things were not being handled correctly as far as the finances at the church. She knew this. She was aware of the investigation before her death, because the FBI is not going to just step in for $1,200
of those items and held them till they were past the date that we could recover anything. So it's very vital for us to get this cell phone that she currently had, because we do believe that there could be quite a bit of evidence on there.
Michael, one of the things that I think has stuck with a lot of people is that Mica met John Paul when she was in the youth ministry in the church, when she was just 14,
Right.
and he was a leader in the church. That did not escape a lot of people. Ultimately, they ended up married. But is there something that you and the family know or feel or believe about Mica's claim that she was being groomed from the time she was a child?
Absolutely. Yes, her demeanor changed over time, and she became more and more compressed, less and less of herself. And as soon as they got married, her behavior went downhill fast as far as being her lively, jovial self. And she seemed to be more sad, more under control, and didn't seem to be her free self, didn't seem to be able to accomplish things she wanted to without him causing them to end. She would do something amazing, and he would shut it down and would not repeat function. I just believe he really compressed her. I really believe that he just sucked the life right out of her and caused her to go downhill from the moment after they got married.
So, okay, here's the question. I'm seeing what you're saying. If the FBI is involved now, they can subpoena her phone. First of all, if the coroner ruled her death, self-inflicted, all of her belongings would have been returned to her family, which would be her husband. So maybe the cops are holding on to that. And, for the investigation, maybe some of the cops that are not crooked or corrupt know something's wrong and they're not releasing this. But the FBI has said, yes, they have stepped in. They were asked to come in on that investigation, which I find very disturbing from the case we had the other morning when the coroner has ruled this a natural death. And the cops are still investigating, although they have no evidence of any type of child abuse, except for the little girl had bruising, which they're not telling what kind of bruising. So this, to me, is there is something going on. It is stated that Mica had a binder. She kept everything. She'd been writing stuff for a long time. So my question is, when she moved out, or when John Paul put her stuff out, did he keep that binder, or did she have it someplace where he did not know about? Because that could be really significant in all of this.
Moment after he forced her to have a certain surgery, and she had a violent reaction from the anesthesia, and he took
breast
advantage
surgery.
of that.
What kind of surgery are you saying he forced her to have?
I would rather not say.
Breast
I
augmentation.
understand.
Yeah.
But I do
Or
want
maybe-
to pull on that thread a little.
They were married 7 years, no kids. Oh my God. Maybe he forced her to get her tubes tied because he already had 5 kids. Maybe he forced her to have her tubes tied. Oh, he forced her to have her tubes tied. That's why he's not saying. They're married 7 years, no kids. Oh my goodness. I guarantee you she had her tubes tied. Because there's no autopsy report. Damn it.
Do you believe that John Paul Miller had inappropriate sexual contact with Mica before she was legally allowed to be in that kind of a relationship? Do you think there could be charges in terms of the age difference between them?
Yep.
Right. I'm unaware of anything that occurred when she was still a young teen, 14 or so. Destiny, do you have anything? I'm not sure.
As far as him reaching out to her and continuously texting her while she was a teen, he convinced her to get away from our family during her teens, told her that he would find different households for her to live in within the church to get her away from our family, as well as he helped her get a car and told her to find adults and tell them stories that they could trust, to get her away from our family. And that's how he initially isolated her during her teens.
Do you think, Destiny, that he was having a sexual relationship with her when she was
Yes, he
underage?
was. Yes.
That I can't lay any claim.
Okay, who believes he was having a sexual relationship with her? Who believes he was having a sexual relationship with her when she was a teen? That was the point of getting her away from her family and isolating her. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I'm not exactly sure to the extent of the relationship at that time, other than the getting her away from the family, getting her to talk to other people and putting her in homes of other family members. But that is when I believe that the initial grooming did start.
And
What was so
Destiny,
wrong?
just
Wait a
describe
minute.
some of the changes that you saw.
Wait a minute. What was so wrong at home that he would have to talk her into leaving the home and being with other people? Because the father seems pretty normal. The sister seems pretty normal because she was able to run to her sister when she wanted to leave. So he was grooming her. He was putting things in her head.
Saw in your
Jesus
sister
Christ,
after
this
she
man.
married John Paul.
Mica was so full of life. She was funny and energetic, someone that just lit up every room that she walked into. And once they were together, especially for that first initial couple years, I mean, she just deteriorated. She was not herself. You could see that maybe she was you could see just the downfall in her personality as far as becoming sad or trying to put on a mask to not let people in of her own private, from what I'm finding out, on her own private hell.
See, I didn't even see this.
Michael, is there a chance that you and your family will launch any kind of civil litigation against John Paul Miller, whether it's wrongful death or whether it's an encouragement to the police to launch criminal charges for anything they may discover in the evidence that we've been able to unearth, the stalking and the harassment, the physical evidence and the admissions and the emails, even to our producer, that he had done those things?
Absolutely. We're going to push for every law that can help and push for laws that don't even exist yet We need a lot of support. We need people that can help write new laws if necessary. And
now there was a petition on the Facebook page. I went to get it, and guess what? John Paul has had that petition removed. He complained to change.org, and the petition was removed from their site. So now he's even talking about he's going to be suing YouTubers and TikTokers that are defaming his name. No one's defaming you. We're only going by what is written, by the things you've said, and by what you've done. That eulogy you did for your wife with the fake whimpering, you depersonalized your wife. You were talking about her winning beauty competitions. You weren't speaking of the woman. You were speaking about a trophy that you thought you had, which you did, but you abused it in every form possible. That is my opinion.
Situation to springboard forward and protect Mica and also protect anybody else in the future. And we'll definitely pursue that. Wrongful, everything. He has
wrongful death,
terrible pain and tragedy throughout this.
Michael, what was the last conversation you had with your daughter, Mica?
It was about, it was the day before. Gosh, it was basically about how things were going. I was talking with her about music, and we wanted to do some recording, and she just absolutely had no signs of anything drastic in her life that would be that bad. She did mention that she was feeling some depression, and she was didn't understand. She didn't understand why this pressure was coming back, because she was feeling better and better the longer she was away from John Paul. And I believe it's due to the stalking and the, slashing her tires and causing her just pressure, as she felt like she had to look over her shoulder all the time. So she felt like she needed a weapon to protect herself. So,
my God, her dad just said she needed a weapon to protect herself. We said maybe she bought the gun. Christoph said it. Maybe she bought the gun to protect herself. Now her dad just said she felt that she needed a gun to protect herself. Yes, she had stepped down from the church. Hi, Complete Creations. How are you? Well, see, so here's the thing, Christoph. I don't know if you hear. The church removed him from his duties. They cannot fire him. He owns the building. They can't fire him. He owns the building.
This is not normal. She was not in a situation where we would think, oh, we need to be watching her, or, I left. She was doing fine. She had a job. She was moving forward. And then suddenly, here we go. Here we are.
Michael Francis and Destiny Barrientos, thank you so much for being on the program and sharing this information. And please keep us apprised of anything that happens in the coming days and weeks. I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. So the family is adamant this man led their daughter to unalive herself. I really don't think she unalived herself. Explain about the bruising. And you saw they snuck the camera to take the pictures. I want to know, why was she had like a handprint on her arm. So the county sheriff has asked for them to step in. Now, John Paul, guess what? Did y'all know that John Paul officiated Mica's wedding to her first husband? Did anybody know that? He officiated Mica's wedding to her first husband. He officiated or eulogized his now current alleged girlfriend Susie Skinner's husband's funeral. Who he's now cheating on. Okay, so Christoph says, at first I don't think she did, but now I think he tore her down and she couldn't take it. But what do you make about the crying and then the gunshot? What do you make about the crying and then the gunshot? See, okay, she says, I'm alone. But again, why wouldn't you just drop a pin? Anybody can drop a pin for their location now. If she was so concerned about her family knowing where she was at, why didn't she send them a message? She could have just dropped a pin. Hey, can you guys come here? Drop a pin. He wasn't there. Somebody else, I believe, was there. She was so calm. That was so scary about it. It was like, but I still can't get over the fact that she didn't know where she was, but yet she Googled the state park. And yet I find out that Tom, the attorney, owns that property. Never been there before. Don't you think it's odd that Tom Winslow owns 200 acres that were backed up to that creek and leads down to where Mica's body was found? Don't we think that's odd? The crime, because she had to do it. He was there to witness. Yes, but who? It's not in the reports that he was the one that was following her when the police was there. But the police did speak to the person and to tell them they need to stop following and harassing her. But they never said it was him. They never said it was him. So the question is, I said somebody knows more than what they're saying. I think it's somebody affiliated with him. But the fact that she was on property owned by Tom Winslow, his attorney, who helped him get Mica committed, I find it to be very odd. Very odd. And the fact that he preached a full sermon less than 12 hours after her death with zero emotion. And at the end of the sermon, you tell people to stand up because you needed to make an announcement. This doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Paddles, I want to know who was in that other boat. See, very good. He said someone was coming down the river or loading into the river, and he asked them, did they hear that? So hold on a second. I'm going to find that interview. Hold on. I want you to hear what he has to say. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but I'm going to do that. Fisherman interview. I be typing all day. Mica Miller. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. I forgot what it's called. Mica Miller. Fisherman? Okay, hold on. I think that's it. Fisherman who heard Mica's cries. Okay, so hold on. Let's get this. Let me stop. I want you guys to hear. Pay attention to what he says. Okay. Sharing the screen.
We start tonight with continuing coverage on the death of Mica Miller, the estranged wife of John Paul Miller. former pastor at the Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. This week, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office, they released a timeline of what happened the day Mica died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the Lumber River State Park.
I hate that.
Now, tonight, the man who reported hearing Mica crying and the sound of a gunshot at that state park is sharing how his character is now under attack. He says it's destroying his life, and he wants the baseless attacks that he's seeing on social media to stop. He talked with ABC 15's Tanya Brown. She joins us now live from the Robeson County Sheriff's Office in Lumberton.
Andrew, the fisherman says he never thought fully cooperating with the police investigation and telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth would lead to him being unfairly targeted on social media. I met 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs today at an undisclosed location in Robeson County. He didn't want me to show his face because he's concerned for his safety.
But you told his name.
And targeted on social media.
It's like putting my life in danger with some of the things that's been said.
Jacobs tells me he'd been fishing for several hours on April 27th at the Lumber River State Park when he heard a faint cry. He says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
Okay.
I said, oh my.
He heard a faint cry. 2 or 3 minutes. Hey, grass toucher, sweetie. 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard the gunshot. He heard that she was crying. Probably somebody was talking to her. She's crying. And then you hear the gunshot. Yeah, he's been doxxed. Okay, so let's just do that a little bit.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me. Don't tell me, because the crime. I said, oh my.
Or 3 minutes later, he heard State Park when he heard a faint cry. He says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me. Don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened. Don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there.
No call to the police. No call to the police.
Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Jacob says he couldn't see anything because of all the trees blocking his view.
Now, this is Tom Winslow's property, 200 acres of it. Tom Winslow's property. John Paul, attorney.
This here's the park, of course. This is where I put my boat in at.
He showed me a map on his phone of the Lumber River State Park to better show his location on the river that day.
You see how thick the woods are? That's why I couldn't see nothing. So right along in here is where I found Mica's belongings at.
He says he found Mica's backpack, glasses, and cell phone on the bank and gave them all to deputies on scene. He says he didn't know Mica and has no reason to lie to police. Johnny Jacobs wants the unfair targeting again.
Okay, Johnny Jacobs, guys, he don't want his face to be seen, but she's given his name, Johnny Jacobs. Johnny Jacobs. Let's not forget that name.
Against him to end.
I want this to stop as far as me. I don't want to make this all about me because I'm still thinking about Mica. I'm trying to respect her family, and I got total respect for them, and I am so sorry for what they're going through. I never thought my day would turn out like that.
I bet Mica never thought her day would turn out like that either. I bet Mica never thought that her day would turn out like that either.
Robeson County medical examiner has also been bashed on social media for how he ruled Mica's death as a suicide. Now, the North Carolina State Medical Examiner's Office, I reached out to them today to get information on if an autopsy was done on Mica's body, and I am still waiting to learn that answer.
Gonna wait.
Live in Lumberton, Tanya Brown, ABC 15 News.
Tanya, thank you. Now, today we also learned that the Solid Rock Church reported receiving, quote, harassing messages on social media in the days following Mica Miller's death.
Really?
Now, the report was filed last Wednesday by a female pastor there, and police noted the messages were vague, but mentioned canceling the church for its, quote, lies. Myrtle Beach police concluded at the time no harassment had occurred. We reached out to the church for comment about this. No one is answering.
No one's
We start
answering.
tonight with continuing.
No one's answering. So what pictures are you asking me was shown, sweetie? I'm not sure what you're speaking about. Autopsy picture or pictures of her body? Or what are you talking about? Because the father snuck a picture when he signed that paperwork so he can see his daughter, and they saw bruising on her. So what pictures, Marimar, what pictures are you talking about? So again, and then Tom Winslow, John Paul's attorney, owns 200 acres that's backed up to that creek, and it leads down to where Mica's body was found. And then Tom asked Nina, who's the property manager, a couple of days ago, to go start cleaning up. He said it's overgrown. It's overgrown. So why do you think now he's concerned about the property being overgrown? It's kind of strange, don't you think? I'm sure it's been overgrown for quite some time. So, and when I tell you that Tom Winslow, John Paul, and Mica's own attorney, they medically and legally determined that she was mentally unstable. Her own attorney. Nope, she had never been to that area before. She looked it up, which was dumb. She did a Google search for state parks near me. That doesn't make any sense at all. So now I think the FBI is there because they're going to start looking at banking records. And if Mica knew about this investigation before her death, which she did tell the friend in that letter that was turned over to the police that he was stealing from the church. She knew about this. And how did she get $1,199 deposited into her account? So after her death. So April 27th was what? So they filed the report on, I got to find it. Hold on. I got to find it. I forgot. They filed the report on March 14th. They filed a report of $1,200 donations that was meant for the Africa or South Africa mission was missing. It was stolen. The money didn't appear in Mica's account until after her death. Does that make sense to you? The report was filed on the 14th, but it didn't appear in her account. $1,199 appeared in Mica's account after her death. I looked at the gas station that she went to. I wouldn't stop at that gas station in the middle of the day. Who would go to that gas station? Hold on. I'm going to show you guys this gas station that Mica went to. And I'm like, why in the hell would she go to this gas station when they have bigger gas stations? Hold on. Let me see. Can I find this gas station again? Okay. Oh, I found it. Wait a minute. Oh, here's another one. So this is weeks before this is weeks before the exercise. Hold on a second. I saw this one yesterday and I made a note to grab the link, but I didn't. So let me show you this. My head. I'm telling you, when I work with numbers all day, my eyes get really, really, it dries. Okay, here we go. This is weeks before.
Away. I'll show you the pictures. Do you want to go to jail? They'll be on Facebook in a few hours. Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
News Nation obtaining this exclusive video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman and her estranged husband just weeks before her death. Investigators have ruled 30-year-old Mica Miller's death a suicide. But her family and friends tell News Nation there's much more to what actually happened, especially
Did you see
since
that?
Walk away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
News Nation obtaining this exclusive video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman and her estranged husband just weeks before her death. Investigators have ruled 30-year-old Mica Miller's death a suicide. But her family and friends tell News Nation there's much more to what actually happened, especially since Miller had just recently filed for divorce.
Now let's remember, he posted a topless photo of Mica and left it up for an hour. And then he said he did it because he wanted to hurt her because she was telling people of his recent disgusting things that he was doing. So he was trying to hurt her. So
News Nation's Rich McHugh has looked into this story since the very beginning, joining us live with the latest developments. Rich, what can you tell us?
Hi, Alex.
So that's why she went to the tire. So this is the first time that she went to the tire shop, I think, because her tires were slashed 3 times. Well, twice. This is the first time she went to the tire shop.
We need some context so our audience can better understand that moment and what they were seeing. We FOIA'd a number of documents from the police. We got back a whole treasure trove from the Myrtle Beach Police Department, about 14 different police reports filed in the past 2 years, many of them within the past 3 months. There's 2 in question that were filed on March 11th of this year, so just about 2 months ago. I want to read from them directly. They say, police officers respond to East Coast Honda. That's what we see in the video. She's at East Coast Honda in Myrtle Beach in reference to harassment, that Mica was getting her tire fixed after it was slashed, that she told the officer of the tracking device on her car, that the suspect showed up, quote, she told him to go away, but she does not want to talk. And then when she pulled out her phone to record, he sped off. The victim then leaves and goes to East Coast Honda. Again, this is what we're about to see. And the suspect showed up again. That appears to be this moment at East Coast Honda. Let's roll that tape.
Away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to
John
jail?
Paul.
Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
Now, this video, for people that have been watching this is a window into the nightmare that she had been living. She had told the police officer in that police report that day that she was afraid for her life.
You remember they redacted the name. It was John Paul. Oh my God.
And we're seeing why. She's telling him to walk away. He's saying he's threatening to post pictures on Facebook. He's presumably tracked her to that location. We're going to be asking the police for answers on if they have done any follow-up to these allegations that she has made.
And you heard him say that he was going to post the pictures, and he did. That's revenge porn. Oh my God, it was John Paul because he was in a white Honda.
Yeah, really alarming stuff, and great work getting all those documents, Rich. I know it's painted a much different picture than what we've heard over the past.
Thank you for watching.
Oh my goodness. So I was looking for the gas station. That's her in the gas station, but I wanted you to see the outside of that gas station. Hold on. Okay. Well, this is, I can't find it, but they were showing the outside of the gas station, but this is a video inside the gas station. But anyway, this man is sick. He had everything to do with it. He was following her. He tracked her to that Honda place. Remember, I read those documents and his name wasn't there, but the cop even spoke with him. She had her phone, and he said The pictures are going to be on Facebook within an hour. Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to see what else is going to be going on with this case. There is so many people that are following this, but I wanted to read you something from Kyler Marlowe. Okay. And this is the woman that's close to the family. And hold on a second. Let me go back one. She put a statement up on her page because she said that was a lot of misinformation. And you know how people take things and run with it. So she wanted to make this clear. Hold on. I'm trying to find the statement that she made. Okay, hold on a second. This is new. Oh my God, is JP following her? Oh my, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me share this. This is new. Wait a minute. This is new. This is new. Okay. So this is JP's truck. There's his life. This is April 27th. They said this doesn't prove he was in that truck. I just don't believe it was her at call making a 911 call. I don't buy the gun purchase unless it was her own safety. So many things don't make sense. She wanted to get on with her life, and someone else was jealous. After filing papers, she died 2 days later. This is new. So she went, oh my goodness, hold on. This is JP's truck. This is Mark Clark Expressway, North Charleston. There's his truck. April 27th at 12:30 p.m. There's his license plate. Okay. Lavender Honda. Mica Miller. She had a lavender Honda. Okay. This is another vehicle. This is the white Honda that he drives that was following her. That was May 1st. So this is the paperwork that says breach of trust of property. All info per meet with on scene reference an employee stealing from a business. Okay, this is May 1st. The first police report was filed on March 14th from stealing from the church. They said that the ex-employee closed one of the bank accounts for a youth program that she was executed for. Detective Sweeney is investigating this ongoing case and will be made aware. So this is 3/29/2024. But they're saying May 1st here. But the first report was filed on March 14th. On February 21st, I met with the complainant, blah, blah, blah. The CP stated that she has been separated from her husband. They involved other IOs since January. I guess they've been separated since January of 2023. The CP stated that she was involuntarily hospitalized on 2/8/2024 and left her silver 2019 Honda Accord parked in a parking lot of the Walmart neighborhood market located at 3650 Walton Drive. Let me make this bigger. Shit, this is hard to read. Walton Drive. When the CP was discharged from the hospital staff informed her that her husband picked up her purse and car keys while she was hospitalized. The CP stated that when she was released from the hospital on 2/10, she returned to the Walmart neighborhood market on. So he wasn't there to pick her up. and discovered her vehicle was gone. The CP believed that her husband fraudulently initiated her involuntary hospitalization and stole her car while she was in the hospital. The CP stated that she's known her husband since she was 10 years old and that he groomed her while she worked for him at Solid Rock Church until they were married 6 years ago. I contacted the husband. Oh, I make this bigger. Okay, I contacted the husband who stated that he and his wife were not legally separated and that she suffers from mental health disorders. But he wasn't there to pick her up from the hospital for mental health disorders. The IO stated that the CP experiences episodes on an annual basis near Christmas when she becomes reckless and spends large amounts of money when she stops taking her prescribed medication. The IO stated that he was in possession of the silver Honda Accord in order to prevent his wife from selling it during this episode. She was in the hospital. The IO pointed out that the fact that the vehicle was marital property and that he was unwilling to give it back to his wife for a month, which he stated was usually the timeline of these reckless episodes. Due to both parties stating they were legally married, I made the determination that the Honda Accord was considered marital property. Therefore, I could not establish a criminal offense. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. On March 13th, a report was received over the telephone regarding an alleged false pretense swindle that took place at Solid Rock Ministries. The complainant relates that one of the employees of the church was sent to collect donations for the church 50c3 Dare to Care mission. So the 50c3 is a nonprofit for the mission, but the church itself is not a nonprofit. These funds were being collected specifically for a mission occurring in Jeb Rock, Kenya. The CP states that on 2/14, it was discovered that the employee had transferred donation funds from church, Zelle, and Cash App accounts to the employee's personal South State Bank account. Really? The employee also collected cash donations, which were allegedly deposited directly into the employee's account in a total of the $1,199 that was deposited into her account after her death. This was reported on March 13th. That money was not deposited into Mica's account until after her death. Okay, Grass Toucher. Oh my God. There's another report. This is in February. Okay, so this is Mica reporting John Paul on June 23, 2022. RO received a phone report from the victim stating that she received lewd text messages and photographs from the offender while she was at her home in New Jersey. Oh, this is not Mica. The victim states she also received a video call from the offender while he was performing an obscene act on 6/8/2022. The RO spoke with the offender, who stated he was in a city jurisdiction during the time of their video call. Oh my God, this man is disgusting. He is seriously ill. Look at all these damn reports. Complainant says he's being harassed on social media by text by his wife and her family. Would like to make a report about it. This is 3/27/2024. The CP said he was being harassed by his wife on social media. Detective Patchell looked at the wife's Facebook post where she talks about abuse. There were no names mentioned and no intent or harassment on social media platform. The CP had no text or proof of harassment and was advised by RO to block any further social media from his wife, and he was also advised to not look at her page since it upset him. The CP mentioned defamation of character, but was told defamation is defamation of character, but was told that it is not criminal matter and that there was no evidence from what Detective Patchell and RO saw of mentioning his name on any social media that was posted. The CP stated that he was a pastor and he was worried about the reputation, advised that he could give us a call back if he was being harassed, but there was no evidence of that in his claim today. So he was claiming that Mica was harassing him. Oh my God, he's psycho. He is absolutely psycho. So this is new. This wasn't there when I looked earlier. So that was new. Oh my. Oh my goodness. That was new. That was new. So I'm going to keep looking, but that's all that I had that was new. They're definitely investigating embezzlement from the church. It's definitely not over $1,200. Just so you know that his father, Reginald, is involved with Solid Rock, but we're going to find out where this leads. So that's all. I'm going to read your comments, but that's all I had that I was going to discuss today. That's been confirmed. Hi, Maria, my dot. That's all I had today that has been confirmed. There's a lot of, if you look on TikTok, they're saying that the FBI is investigating her death. No, Myrtle Beach acts for them to step in and help with the investigation. The only thing the FBI is stating that they're investigating now is the fraud. And the statement is, hold on, let me go back and get the statement. Hold on. They said they cannot confirm or deny, but they are investigating John Miller and his attorney and Dare to Care African Mission. But they're not going to confirm or deny any investigation in Mica's death. Now, the state attorney's office also put out a statement stating that they do not put out information on what investigations that they're involved in, which I find that to be kind of weird too, but that's what they said. So Dare to Care, John Paul, and Tom Winslow, that's the focus of the FBI right now. And don't forget that John Paul he was torturing her. He was doing all kind of things to her. I do believe that they are looking into everything. If they can charge him with something, they will. He's just as crooked as his daddy. He's just as crooked as his dad. Yeah, he claims she was stalking him. That's not true. That's not true. But Grass Toucher, I'm gonna have to talk to you this weekend too. But anyway, that's all I have for now, guys. I wasn't gonna hold you long, but that came up. So I'm still checking. I look at I'm on Twitter. I'm gonna tell you who I follow on, not Twitter, on X. His name is Robbie Harvey. I follow Robbie Harvey. He has good information. He doesn't do all this sensationalizing. He's basically looking at Kyla Marlowe's page. He's looking at Watch Keep to see what they're putting up. So The petition is still not there, but just to let you know that Solid Rock, they bought that property for $169,000 when it's now worth almost $2 million. And they're planning on expanding, and they're going to be doing this. I'm almost finished my stuff on Kennerson. So let me let you. I tell you about the email that got Mica's sister fired. And I have that too, but that leads into Reginald Wayne Miller, because she was working at a school that's affiliated with not only Solid Rock, but also his group as well. So we would definitely get into that. But I feel that John Paul is a narcissist. I think that he does have mental issues. We saw him on the ground with the ants crawling all over him and everything else. So, but hi, Just Beto. But I'm going to get out of here. You hear my voice is going. I've been in meetings all day talking and talking and talking. And I will definitely keep you updated. I need to check with Sarah. Sarah wanted to do a live tomorrow so she can make some announcements. So I'm probably going to do that. It depends on how I feel tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be a long, busy day. So Maria, I saw you went live. I stopped in and said hi. I'm going to go back and listen to your live, ma'am. And it wasn't even 24 hours, has it, Maria? Has it been 24 hours? So I would definitely talk to you guys later. I really appreciate you being here, and thank you. I'm going now. Justice for Mica, guys. Justice for Mica. And probably this weekend, I'm going to do the Solid Rock deep dive. And then we're going to have to do Baby Reindeer too. So I'll get it all done this week. I promise. It'll all be done this week. Good night, everybody. Have a nice evening. Bye.